So, have you ever heard the term MLOps floating around in meetings and wondered if it's just another tech buzzword to ignore? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not. In fact, it might just be one of the most operational concepts for any business that's serious about using AI. Let's dig in.
First things first, let's ask a really big question. Why do so many AI projects, the ones that look absolutely incredible in a demo, just completely fizzle out in the real world? It's kind of shocking, but some studies show that a huge number, like 85% of them, never actually make it into production. So what is going on here?
Well, the answer usually lies in what we can call the hidden AI problem. It's this massive challenge that a ton of companies are facing, but they often mistake it for a simple tech issue. But really, it's an operational story we see play out time and time again.
I bet this story is going to sound familiar to some of you. So imagine your company builds this amazing new recommendation engine. The data scientist gives a demo, everyone's blown away. It works perfectly. But the moment IT tries to roll it out to actual users, the whole thing crashes. 6 months go by, and guess what? Customer tastes have changed, but the AI hasn't. Its recommendations are now totally useless. Then a regulator comes knocking and asks, hey, how does this thing work? And nobody has a clue. And for the final nail in the coffin, the one expert who built the whole thing leaves the company. Now it's just this expensive, useless black box that nobody can touch.
And here is the absolute key takeaway from that story. This wasn't a failure of technology. The AI model itself was great. This was a failure of operations. It's basically like trying to launch a brand new product with zero quality control, no plan for maintenance, and no instruction manual. It was destined to fail.
And that right there brings us to the solution. This is exactly where MLOps comes into the picture. It's designed from the ground up to prevent these kinds of operational disasters.
So, in the simplest terms, MLOps, or machine learning operations, is really just a set of practices. It's about managing your AI systems with the same kind of discipline and rigor that you'd use for, say, your company's finances or your supply chain. It's all about making AI reliable, repeatable, and, well, professional.
This comparison really hits the nail on the head. Think about how your business probably moved from a bunch of scattered, messy spreadsheets to a real, centralized project management system. That wasn't just a software upgrade, was it? No, it was a complete transformation in how people work together. Well, MLOps is that exact same kind of leap forward, but for AI.
And this isn't some new, untested idea either. This has been brewing for a while. Way back in 2015, Google published this landmark paper that was a huge wake-up call. It basically said building the model is the easy part, maybe 5% of the total work. A few years later, the tools to fix this started popping up. And today, MLOps engineer is a real, high-demand job title. This is a mature solution to a very old problem.
Okay, so now that we've got a handle on what MLOps is, let's translate a few of its key ideas into the kind of business terms you already use every day.
First up is something called version control. Forget the tech jargon. Just think of it as a perfect audit trail. You know how you track every single change in a crucial financial document? MLOps does the exact same thing for an AI model. It tracks every version, what data it used, and who signed off on it. So if a regulator asks why the AI made a certain decision 6 months ago, you have a rock-solid answer. No guesswork.
Next, continuous testing. This is just a fancy way of saying quality assurance for your AI. I mean, you would never, ever launch a huge new marketing campaign without testing it first, would you? Of course not. MLOps automates all that testing to make absolutely sure your models are accurate and fair before they ever interact with a single customer.
I love this one. Think of monitoring as doing regular performance reviews for your AI. You don't just hire a new employee and then never check in on them, right? You see how they're doing. MLOps constantly watches your AI models to see if their performance is slipping or if they're starting to show weird biases. This lets you step in and fix things long before they become big, embarrassing problems.
And finally, governance. This is all about your existing compliance and risk management frameworks. Your company already has rules for data privacy and financial reporting, right? MLOps just extends that same thinking to your AI systems. It helps ensure your models are compliant with big regulations like GDPR or the new AI Act, and that they actually line up with your company's ethics.
So when you start putting all these pieces together, you realize that MLOps does way more than just lower your risk. It actually starts to build a real, tangible competitive advantage.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. Without MLOps, what do you have? You've got high failure rates, these mysterious black box models, growing legal risks, and honestly, a pretty fuzzy return on your AI investment. But with MLOps, you get reliable systems that can actually scale. Your teams can collaborate effectively, and you turn AI from a cost center into a true competitive weapon.
And look, this isn't just for the tech folks. For managers, this means projects get delivered faster and with way less risk. For business analysts, it means you're working with insights you can actually stand behind. And think about HR teams. It gives them a safety net, making sure any AI used for hiring is fair, auditable, and won't land you in hot water. All right, so the big question is, what should you do now? How do you take this and turn it into action? Let's talk about the key questions to ask.
I want you to take these 5 questions and bring them to your team tomorrow. Just ask them, point blank. How do we track our model versions? What is our emergency plan if a model goes rogue? Can we explain an AI's decision to a judge? How fast can we update a model? And who exactly is accountable when an AI messes up? If you don't get crisp, immediate answers, that is a huge red flag that you need to start talking about MLOps.
You know, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The real magic of AI, the real value, doesn't come from a brilliant model sitting on someone's laptop. It comes from making that model work reliably, consistently, day in and day out, in the messy, real world. And that, my friends, is the entire point of MLOps.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought. It's time to take a really honest look at how your company is using AI. Is it a well-oiled machine that's giving you a serious edge over the competition? Or is it a ticking time bomb, a hidden risk just waiting to become another failed project? With MLOps, you actually get to make that choice.